Hi, I'm Anthony Usera, principled chiropractor, Power of Chiropractic, 45050, Larkspur Lane, Palm Desert, between El Paseo and 111. Today we're talking about the myths of the medical model and the truth of chiropractic. How would you like to age? The guy on the right, 102 years old, he's a real competitor from the Senior Olympics. The guy on the left, 70 years old, already in a wheelchair. The guy on the right, he didn't wait until he was 85 years old and then decide, hey, I better get in shape. He's been maintaining it from an early age. What I would like to do is inspire you to maintain your health from today forward. So my purpose is to build a bridge to life. Not that I'm adding something to you, but that I'm helping to something that's already inside you to extend and reach further. Because in our country right now, there's a crisis in healthcare. We're spending $2.2 trillion a year, and it's doubling every 8 years. And we all know the story of Humpty Dumpty. All the king's horses and all the king's men. Basically, all the resources of the kingdom were not enough to put them back together. I'll say, maybe they did actually put them together, the shell itself, but it's what's on the inside that they couldn't restore. So, in our country now, we're number one in trauma care. We're good at putting it back together. But what about that something on the inside? The problem is only less than 1% of all problems as far as health go are crisis or emergency centered, where that being number one in trauma care will matter. It's the other 99% that where our system is failing. So it's really not a healthcare system. It's a sick care system because money doesn't buy health. We all know that. But it does buy doctors and schools and hospitals and technology and more drugs and more surgeries. But it just doesn't buy health. And that's why the United States is basically ranked last place out of all the top countries in the world. Because there's so many things out there like heart disease. Half the people find out they have heart disease by having a heart attack, and then half of them die on the same day. So, that's why we're basically last place. The system as it is just doesn't work. The costs are going up, the effectiveness is going down, and it's all because people think health is based on how they feel. Health is bigger than how you feel. A lot of people say, well, if I feel good, I must be good. I don't want to mess with the good thing. And that's because in medicine, the objective is to eliminate symptoms. So if you don't have symptoms, there's not much medicine can do. Have you ever been to the doctor and then they sent you back home saying, oh, come back in a few weeks or a month and we'll see if we can, find that problem. It's because if there's not a symptom that they can deal with, then there's not much that they can do. I'll say that girl's not sick. She's more healthy because the fever is helping her to teeth faster. It's increasing the metabolism of those cells, and the teething process is happening quicker. I'll say that runny nose is because she has allergies, and her body knows not to breathe in that thing, so it's trying to block off the breathing to minimize and capture some of that allergen. This lady, let's say she woke up today and had a toothache, but yesterday she was fine. It doesn't mean the toothache started today. It's been festering and building up for months and maybe even years. And we can give her all the drugs and medicine that we want, but it's going to take a physical fix to take care of that physical problem. And so the true definition of health is a condition of optimal physical, social, mental, and spiritual well-being, not simply freedom from disease and pain. If health was just feeling good, then fine, just take something to make yourself feel better. But that's really not the case. I'll try to describe and illustrate health by using the example of a piano. Health or the quality of music is based on the structure and function, not just how it looks. So it looks great on the outside, but if on the inside it's out of tune, then it doesn't matter how good you are at playing the piano, you're going to get booed off the stage because the instrument or the structural function is not there. Although the intelligence and the know-how to play the piano is there, the talent is there. There's a talent of healing that's there inside of you, but if your body isn't able to conduct that knowledge and information, so what? Just because the car looks good on the outside doesn't mean anything about how it is on the inside. Just because it's young and healthy looking on the outside doesn't mean it's good. Just because she felt good yesterday doesn't mean there wasn't a problem that's going to crop up today. So, the symptoms have a purpose. I've already kind of mentioned the sneezing, the cough, the fever has a purpose, vomiting and diarrhea. You want to get that poison out of your system. The pain is to notify your body, hey, heal this part. If you take a pain medication, you're turning off the pain signals, and your body doesn't know that something needs to heal. So in the United States, we take the most drugs of all the world, and really it's because we've been marketed to. More doctors smoke Camel than any other cigarette. It's because, they've created a culture of magic. Take this magic pill and you'll be all better. Smoke these magic asthma cigarettes and we'll take care of your hay fever and colds and bronchial irritations, when we know that cigarettes cause those things. One day we'll be making fun of vaccines in the same way we make fun of these cigarettes. This whole thing is because of a bias towards science. So what happens is the drug company puts in money, and then they get this scientific research that says, see, scientific effects of smoking. Chesterfields are the best for you. It's that same junk science that's gotten us to this point where we don't even know what health is anymore. All it takes is them to figure out something that they can sell you on, and they'll go ahead and deal with the repercussions later, as long as they can make the money back now. And they need to make a lot of money because look how much they're spending on advertising. This is just one drug for 1 year, $660 million for the marketing budget for one drug for 1 year. So if you ever wonder why you don't hear this message in the outside world, it's because who's going to pay to teach you it? And really, they're not teaching you something. They have to unteach you from all the fake stuff that they've been teaching you in order to tell you about this. And so we've made this video to make a grassroots outreach to get to more people. Because, all the chiropractors in all of history put together, I doubt they've even spent $660 million put together. Nevertheless, just one drug, just 1 year, marketing to you to make you think their way. They're even buying off the government. This is the pharmaceutical lobby, over $100,000 a year in 2008. And what do we get for it? Drug ads on TV now. The pharmaceutical lobby spends over $230 million a year. The chiropractic lobby is less than $1 million. So you have to educate yourself. You see, every function of the body is under the control of the nerve system. This is according to Gray's Anatomy textbook, the textbook used in medical schools and chiropractic schools all over. That spine and nervous system controls every system, every function of your body, and it's the most delicate system in your body. That delicate system of the nerve and spine system, completely encased in bone, the strongest system of your body, the hardest substance your body can create, delicately balanced by different muscles, all working together. My purpose and function is to remove interference to that system so that there's better signal and communication between the organ systems and your brain. Now, in the unfortunate example of Christopher Reeve, we know he broke his neck at the very top levels where the brain stem exits from the brain and skull area into the spine and spinal cord area. By breaking his brain stem, there was no longer communication between the lungs and brain. And so although he had all that money could buy, all the resources of the kingdom were at his disposal, the stem cell research, the drugs and surgery of all kinds, what he didn't have was a connection between the lungs and brain, and so the immune system didn't know he was sick, and it was not able to overcome the simple disease of pneumonia. So chiropractic helps so many things, and it's not that chiropractic cures any of these, it's just that it makes this work better. And if there's a better signal and communication from brain to body, then there'll be better function health-wise. It's all about balance. I went to Chinese medicine school before I became a chiropractor and learned about the principles of Chinese medicine, the balancing of yin and yang, of light and dark, of growth and decay. And we've applied those principles to the 5 elements and the 12 organ systems and all the different aspects of health and healing in your body. And we apply that through chiropractic to bring a higher level of health, a greater level of understanding. Because if we can just balance that very top part of your spine, the most important part of your body to adjust, then your body can get better. You know, the real purpose of your body is to take your brain around to different places so you can have different experiences. Your neck is the most flexible part of your spinal cord and spinal column. If we can adjust that and bring balance into your neck, into the cervical level, then the lower levels will automatically tend to balance themselves out and get better. Now, the term for improper signal or communication is subluxation. When the central nervous system cannot send or receive messages to and from your muscles, organs, glands, and tissues because of a vertebral subluxation, the function and healing potential are reduced. So what I'm trying to do is remove that interference to allow your body to heal itself. So here's a picture basically of what a subluxation could look like. It's simply a nerve being just slightly pinched off due to misalignment. Now that nerve might be pinched off in different aspects. It could be a part of the nerve that feels pain that's being pinched off, but that's only 15% of the nerve. The other 85% of the nerve has to do with the more automatic functions, the motor functions. You know, you don't have to think about how to catch a ball, you just grab it. The motor nerves do that. You don't have to think about your heart beating or your lungs breathing or your intestines digesting. Your autonomic nerves just automatically do it. So if one of those parts of the nerve is being pinched off, you won't feel it. You'll just have reduced function. So you can't just rely on pain to know that there's a problem. Now there's many causes of subluxation or reduced communication between the brain and body. Could be emotional stress, repetitive stress, obviously more traumatic things. But even just being born can cause subluxation. And so, over the long term, it's your posture that will decide your health. You know, posture is really important when you're racing motorcycles. But even Nobel Prize-winning physiologists say the beginning of disease starts with postural distortion. You know, if your body isn't able to move in the proper relation to itself, then disease is already got its foot in the door. You know, even Einstein says, hey, if people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we're a sorry lot indeed. If people are only taking care of themselves because they now fear pain, man, we're kind of waiting too long. We need to get in there and prevent these problems and start taking care of things while you're still young so you can be the 102-year-old cool grandpa or grandma, you know, still doing stuff with your great-great-grandchildren. You know, we all know this picture. God over here, Adam over there. Really, the purpose of the picture is to depict a transfer of life force energy from the spiritual realm to the physical realm. That transfer of life force energy, that little something that the whole picture is about, lives inside of this. What I do at the Power of Chiropractic is remove interference to the potential of your nerve system so you can feel better, have more energy, and live a better life. At the Power of Chiropractic, when I do what I love, you'll love how you feel.